It seems a new sort of Cold War is brewing, only this time it's less about spies in trench coats and more about who controls your digital wallet. For what feels like an age, America has been, shall we say, pondering its options, while China's digital yuan has been quietly making friends all over the globe. But just when you thought the game was up, America played its hand. A new law, rather grandly named the Genius Act, was signed on July 18, 2025. And no, it's not just another bit of boring crypto regulation. This is America's blueprint for making sure the dollar, not the yuan, is still king of the castle when it comes to the future of money. Here's their rather clever plan to win the digital currency war. For more than a decade, China has been methodically building its own central bank digital currency, the eCNY. While Washington was busy debating, Beijing was busy building. Today, the eCNY is very much a reality, with pilot programs in 29 cities and some serious transaction volumes. But China's ambition isn't just to keep it at home. The head of China's central bank recently announced plans for an international hub for the eCNY in Shanghai, with the express aim of getting it used around the world. This isn't just a little experiment, it's a direct challenge to the way the world's money works. To see why this is such a headache for the US, you first have to appreciate the sheer power of the American dollar. For over 75 years, it's been the world's go-to currency. This is what's known as an exorbitant privilege, and it's the bedrock of American power. It means countries usually trade with each other in dollars, and central banks hoard them like a squirrel hoards nuts. All this demand lets the US borrow money on the cheap to fund its government and military. More importantly, it's a heck of a geopolitical tool. The global financial system, with its swift messaging network, gives America the power to hit countries with sanctions. If a nation steps out of line, Washington can pretty much unplug it from the world economy. Just ask Iran, Russia, or North Korea. It might be America's most powerful weapon that doesn't go bang. And China's digital yuan is designed to build a world where that weapon is, well, useless. The eCNY allows countries to trade with each other completely bypassing SWIFT and the entire US financial system. China has been refreshingly honest about this, with its central bank governor suggesting traditional payment systems can be weaponized and that the world needs a few more currencies in the mix. This isn't just a theory, it's already happening. China is leaning on its massive Belt and Road initiative to get partner nations to trade in yuan. It's built its own SWIFT-like system called CIPS, and now, with the eCNY, it has a high-tech way to make those non-dollar deals faster and cheaper. For a long time, it looked like Uncle Sam was fast asleep, while its biggest rival was building a parallel financial system right under his nose. But while it looked like the US was losing, a countermove was being planned. A powerful bipartisan group in Washington had a moment of clarity. Fighting a state-run digital currency with another state-run digital currency would be a disaster. It would be slow, tangled in red tape, and frankly, a bit un-American. So, they chose a different path. A uniquely American solution. And that solution is the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act, or the Genius Act, passed with huge support from both sides of the aisle and signed into law on July 18, 2025. This isn't a defensive shield. It's an all-out attack designed to unleash the power of the private sector. So what is this master plan? It all hangs on something called a stablecoin. Put simply, a stablecoin is a digital token pegged to a real-world asset, in this case, the US dollar. Think of it as a digital dollar that's always worth $1 because it's backed by a real dollar or something just as safe sitting in a vault. Before the Genius Act, the stablecoin world was the Wild West. You had some rather shady characters issuing them without proof they had the cash to back them up. The Genius Act tidies all that up by creating the first proper federal rulebook for these digital dollars. Here's the gist. First, it decides who gets to make stablecoins. Only permitted payment stablecoin issuers, like federally approved banks or regulated companies, can get a license. So no more anonymous chaps printing money from their basements. Second, and this is the important bit, it demands 100% reserve backing. For every digital dollar out there, the issuer must hold $1 worth of top-notch liquid assets. We're talking actual cash or short-term U.S. government bonds. Third, it requires total transparency. Issuers have to publish audited reports of their reserves every month so anyone can check the money is really there. This is the genius of the strategy. America isn't trying to build its own digital currency. It's putting government-enforced guardrails around the innovation and speed of private companies that have already built easy-to-use digital wallets. And by insisting that these digital dollars are backed by U.S. treasuries, the act creates a brilliant feedback loop. The more the world uses these dollar-backed stablecoins, the more demand there is for U.S. government debt. It cleverly turns the digital currency revolution into a machine that strengthens the dollar rather than weakens it. We're about to look at how this all sets up the next stage of the fight, a direct clash between two very different ideas for the future of money. If you're finding this deep dive useful, do take a moment to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss our future updates as this whole thing gets spicier. The battle lines are now as clear as day. On one side, you have China's model, a tidy, efficient, top-down central bank digital currency. The eCNY is an arm of the state. It's efficient, yes, but it also opens the door to mass surveillance and programmable money that could be used to, let's say, encourage certain behaviors. On the other side is America's new model, a regulated free-for-all of privately issued stablecoins. It's a public-private partnership that plays to America's strengths: free market innovation, entrepreneurial spirit, and the rule of law. The Genius Act doesn't tell people how to build the future. It just sets the safety standards to make sure a digital dollar is actually a dollar. This approach has huge advantages on the world stage. For people and businesses everywhere, the benefits are obvious. Sending money across borders, which used to take days and cost a fortune, can now happen in seconds for pennies. A designer in Manila can get paid by a client in Memphis instantly. A small business can settle an international bill without drumming its fingers waiting for the old banking system to wake up. This is how America plans to win hearts and minds, not by forcing a system on anyone, but by offering a better product, a digital currency that's fast, cheap, and now, thanks to the Genius Act, trustworthy. The law is even designed to go global. It allows foreign stablecoin companies to work in the U.S., but only if they meet the same tough standards and agree to American oversight. The goal is simple: make Genius-compliant, dollar-backed stablecoins the gold standard for digital finance, creating a web of trusted digital dollars that all trace back to the strength of the U.S. financial system. This is more than just a tech race. It's a clash of ideologies. China is betting on a future of centralized control, where money is a tool of the state. With the Genius Act, America has placed its bet on regulated, open innovation, believing the dollar will stay on top because it powers the most trusted and dynamic financial system in the world. The Genius Act is America's opening gambit, but a powerful one in a conflict that will define the 21st century. This financial Cold War is far from over. China will keep pushing its eCNY, looking for allies among nations that would rather not live under the dollar's shadow. The first shots have been fired. The battlefield is digital. The prize is the future of the global economy. Washington has finally chosen its weapon. Now, the world watches to see who wins. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you will be the first to know when our next video comes out of the oven.